Okay, another day, another concept to explore. This one is particularly interesting. The first time I saw this topic, I was a little worried for many students, including my students, because I imagine when they go to have their IELTS test and they do the listening and they do the reading, it's the writing time, and they move on to the screen of writing task two, and then they see this. And I think many students would panic a little bit because I don't think many of them would really understand what this means. Let's read this together. Some people today argue that media has become increasingly nostalgic and unoriginal. To what extent do you agree or disagree? Well, a lot of things, many things are happening here. First of all, it's a to what extent do you agree disagree essay. So it's already making everything tricky. Secondly, I think the keywords nostalgic and unoriginal have to be explored one by one. Unoriginal simply means not creative, it means not interesting, it means not new. Unoriginal can also mean repeating things from the past, repeating the same trend, the same of everything, and never doing anything new and interesting. That's what it means. However, then you look at the word nostalgic and you also see that it's about media. It's not just simple people like you and me. It's the media is becoming increasingly nostalgic and unoriginal. And this is where I was thinking about this a couple of days ago, and I actually agreed with the topic because what I'm seeing in Instagram and YouTube sometimes, in Telegram and other social media is that we really do like revisiting the past. We love romanticizing our childhoods, and of course every generation does that. But now, because we have social media, we have all these memes about how good 2016 was. And I actually do believe 2016 was amazing. It's my favorite year. So if I have to choose a year that was the best in my life, I'll go back 2016. Or if I have to choose a year from my childhood, probably 2006, maybe 2005. I'll really go back in time. I did enjoy those years. But then I'm thinking to myself, do we really need to think about the past so much? Do we really need to focus on it so much? And does the media need to do that? Because sometimes, let's agree, sometimes you're having the best day of your life. Now, 2021st century, 2026, it's February, you look around, wonderful weather, you had the best coffee of your life, listen to some good songs, you met a friend. It's an amazing day. And then, boom, you open your smartphone, you read news and watch some content, and different people in media remind you about how good life was in the past. So now you're thinking, oh, I didn't have a good day. I had a normal day because my childhood was better. My teenage years were better. 2016 was better. 2015 was better. My childhood was the best. Children these days don't have a childhood, and so on. So I do think the examiner who made this question, the person who made this question, created this question, he was referring to those memes too, to those moments where media is going to push a narrative like, your life is not good, life used to be better, done. But this is where I have to explain nostalgia bias. I mean, everything I did right now was explaining nostalgia bias, a very specific term, as you can see. And if I had to define it, I would say nostalgia bias is the obsession with the past and mostly unnecessary romanticizing of the past events versus the modern times. Like, that's my definition. Of course, it's not perfect, but that's the way I understand it. And the word unnecessary is the key here because it's cool. It's cool to have memories. It's wonderful. Like I have my memories too. Like I told you, if I had a chance right now to go back 2016 for at least a couple of days, I would. Okay, all of my savings on that, I would do that. I don't have many savings anyways, but still, I would. But it shouldn't interfere with my modern life though. Like we should enjoy the present too. That's why I will agree with today's question. When they say to what extent do you agree, disagree, and I will mention this as a problem. I mean, I understand why it happens, but I will mention it as a problem because the content we see is not becoming more creative, and we're not becoming healthier because of nostalgia bias too, because there's a little impact there on your mental health. Because if you're having the best of your life but somebody reminds you that your childhood was better, and then you start thinking about your childhood, it's not the best way to use your energy. That's what I'm gonna say. And by the way, just to be sure, we go back to Google here. I'm gonna say the meaning of nostalgia bias. How about that? Nostalgia bias is a psychological phenomenon wherein individuals tend to perceive the past as better than the present. Many people find themselves reminiscing with a sense of longing, convinced that life was superior during earlier times. They didn't say unnecessary, but I said unnecessary in my definition because if it has an impact on the quality of life you have today, then it becomes unnecessary. And if that's the only thing you think about every day, you think about the past every single day you wake up, you think about 2016, you're not going to be happy ever. And again, I'm talking from a standpoint of somebody who wants everyone to be happy. I'm talking from the standpoint of mental health, and so on. That's why I added unnecessary. Nostalgia bias, cool word in many ways. Let's go back. Now, how many main bodies will this be? Probably 2. And do I fully agree? I think yes, but I can explain if I want to. I can explain why people like it. It's to what extent do you agree essay? Do you agree or disagree essay? So I could explain the perspective of some people as well if I really want to, or I could just fully agree, and just mention why it's nostalgic and unoriginal. Let's try anyways. We start with the introduction. Let's say there is an increasing feeling. Can I say increasing feeling? I'm starting to forget English. The meaning of increasing feeling. Can I say that? Yeah, I can. Because I remember I saw this somewhere. I just had to clarify if I can use this as a collocation here. But I think I can. So there's an increasing feeling that today's media is or has become too nostalgic and unoriginal. Yes. Unoriginal. Oh, by the way, I can split them. Yeah, so nostalgic thing can be in the main body 1, and unoriginal can be in main body 2, because we can also talk about how everyone copies each other. All these trends, all these tendencies online, one person's going to make the joke and 5,000 other people will repeat the joke. That's about the word unoriginal. So I will agree. There's an increasing feeling that today's media has become too nostalgic and unoriginal. I fully agree with this. Or let's say just I fully agree because of increasing, or let's just say I fully agree because of nostalgia bias. I fully agree because of nostalgia bias. And when it comes to unoriginal, what can I say? I fully agree because of nostalgia bias and recent. Should I mention the word algorithms though? You know how social media gives you the content you want through a certain algorithm. But then, if you think about it as a blogger, as a person who wants to get famous, there are viral clips, and that means if somebody became famous because of this one video, if you do the same video, you're going to be maybe popular as well. That's how the algorithm works, right? So that's what I want to say here. So I fully agree because of nostalgia bias and social media algorithms. Yeah, that's a difficult word to spell. I fully agree because of nostalgia bias. Or maybe I fully agree with this observation because of nostalgia bias and social media algorithms that favor, or let's say with the latter favoring similar content based on how viral it is. Wonderful, exactly what I wanted to say. And latter is social media algorithms, so it's good referencing too. Perfect cohesion, coherence, really good lexical resource. Might be the best introduction I wrote this year. Yeah, this is good. But let's go ahead with nostalgia bias first, right? This is a definition. You guys remember that? Let's go ahead with main body one. The key today is nostalgia bias, so I have to give a perfect main body, the perfect one. So, it is a part of human nature to romanticize the past. But in recent years, the media has focused on let's say, but in recent years the media has focused on the past too much. Yeah, maybe that. It's a part of human nature. Like, it's okay, we like the past, but in recent years, the media has focused on the past too much. Too much. That is done, or let's say, various TV channels, radio programs, podcasts, right? Podcasts, and social media. Not platforms, but let's say social media accounts, present the past as superior to the present and constantly compare, or let's say constantly explain how much better it was in maybe that's enough here. So various TV channels, radio programs, podcasts, and social media accounts present the past as superior to the present, making people believe, that maybe I just needed a little ing there, making people believe that their current life or their current lives are only, or making people believe that their current lives will never be as enjoyable as decades ago. Yeah, I feel like this is the way it should be. This is how, or maybe I should say, such content is mostly interesting to people because of how nostalgia bias works, right? We, as humans, become more conservative as we age, right? And it becomes easier to reminisce, or it becomes more, I said enjoyable though. What can I say instead of enjoyable? It becomes, or tend to, yeah, we as humans become more conservative as we age, and tend to reminisce the past instead of enjoying the present. Yeah. So such content is mostly interesting to people because of how nostalgia bias works. We as humans become more conservative as we age and tend to reminisce the past instead of enjoying the present, right? Media does its job, or media members, right? Media members, knowing, or I should say, knowing this, right? Those working, no, I want to come up with really good words, you know what I mean? I should describe people in the media, so I'm saying, knowing this, radio presenters, podcast creators, social media managers, and TV show directors. Yeah, there you go. So knowing this, comma, radio presenters, podcast creators, social media managers, and TV show directors focus increasingly on promoting, or not promoting, let's say focus increasingly on creating content that focuses or that shows life in the past, such as 2000s, 1990s, and certain years such as 2016. Recently, many Instagram memes have let's just say many Instagram memes, or maybe recently 2016 inspired many Instagram memes. Yeah. Or should I have it together here? No, that's fine. That's fine. How many words is that? I wonder. 124. Yeah, cool. Let's talk about this now. And let's say it is not just nostalgia bias, but focusing on numbers too. So it's not just nostalgia bias, but focusing on numbers too. social media has proven, or let's just say social media constantly shows that some clips become viral because of specific content, right? And then we can say content creators observe such clips and mimic them and copy them, right? Copy them with the plan or with the desire to have their viral moment as well. This thirst for fame creates so-called trends online. There you go, perfect. Thirst for fame. You guys know what thirst is, right? I mean, you guys have Googled for sure. You should know what that means, but just to be clear, thirst, feeling of needing or wanting to drink something. But in this case, it's not water, it's fame. Have a strong desire for something, craving, yeah? So, social media constantly shows that some clips become viral because of specific content. Content creators observe such clips and copy them with a desire to have their viral moment as well. This thirst for fame creates so-called trends online, which is why we can often see people performing the same dance or telling the same joke. There you go. And we can say such, let's say such, or algorithms, right? Maybe I should mention algorithms here. So it's not just nostalgia bias, but focusing on numbers too. Social media constantly shows that some clips become viral because of specific content. Content creators observe such clips and copy them with the desire to have their viral moment as well. This thirst for fame and millions of views creates so-called trends. Yeah, because I wanted to mention numbers for better coherence, of course. Logically, everything has to be connected, you know. So this thirst for fame and millions of views creates so-called trends online, which is why we can often see people performing the same dance or telling the same jokes. And here we can say such, or we can say the word algorithm is relevant in this case as it represents a certain tendency or framework, right? Framework that appears to work. There you go. So the word algorithm is relevant in this case as it represents a certain tendency or framework that appears to work. Can I say framework though? What if I just say algorithm meaning? What do I get? A process of set of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem-solving operations. A data tracking system. So it is a system. It is a system. Should I say system? I feel like so as it represents a certain tendency or system that appears to work. And we can say social media, or we can say also social media is not the only media platform where such observations can be made. Right. The chase or the pursuit of likes, views, and comments happens elsewhere. In many other places, you guys know what this means. You can say elsewhere, meaning in, at, to some other place, other places. And actually, we can talk about like newspapers, tabloids. Should I say tabloids? That's a good word. Tabloid, meaning newspaper having pages half the size of those of the average broadsheet, typically popular in style and dominated by sensational stories. Yeah, tabloid press. What are some examples of tabloid press? Give me some tabloid press. Daily Mirror, The Sun, Daily Star. Yeah, celebrity stories, sensational news. Most of them are very similar, you know. Daily Star. Yeah, let's go back and let me just say the pursuit of likes, like chasing likes, views, and comments happens elsewhere, where tabloid press being a testament to this. Like a good example, you guys remember the word testament? I used it before. Testament, meaning, which means something that serves as a sign of evidence of a specified fact, event, or quality. The example also says testament to this. So there you go. The pursuit of likes, views, and comments happens elsewhere, with tabloid press being a testament to this. All right, how many words is that already? 287. Yeah, I have to write a conclusion. In conclusion, I agree with the view that, or let's say, in conclusion, media has become too nostalgic. So in conclusion, media has become too nostalgic, and so media has become too nostalgic, and there is a lack of creativity. So let's say, in conclusion, I do believe that media has become too nostalgic and there is a lack of creativity. Those in different media platforms, right, are to blame, since they capitalize on nostalgia bias and viral content. Now, can I say capitalize on in this case? The last thing I want to check, capitalize on, meaning capitalize on means to take advantage of a situation, event, opportunity to gain a personal or business benefit. Yeah, to turn something into your own advantage. They do make money off that, right? So why not? Those in different media platforms are to blame. They are the problem, since they capitalize on nostalgia bias and viral content. Yeah. Done. The number of words, 322. This is your solution. This is your sample for this super interesting task 2. And now, if you watch this video and you go to your test, and if you have this question, you will know how to answer to this, and you will forever remember what nostalgia bias means, because this was the main focus today. I explained the concept, wrote the essay, and I hope everybody understands what I try to say, especially with examples such as 2016, with all these memes going around telling people that their current life is bad and that life in 2016 was much better, which might be true, but again, I'm being biased as well. As you can see, that's how human nature works, as I mentioned here.